Today, a former classmate of mine asked me about some topics covered in the CU Boulder's digital forensics course. The course is instructed by a professor in the TCP program who's become a friend of mine, Dr. Aaron Hansen, and he gave me permission to utilize the slides for this demonstration. I'll start by explaining the tools listed and jump to some terminal commands with the former classmate to see how they work. Everything used is installed via sleuthkit on Linux. If you are running a Kali Linux, it should be there, otherwise you may need to install it yourself. I use Arch Linux, so I had to install it using a simple sudo pacman-s sleuthkit. These commands will be in the description, and I will also include the Ubuntu version. For the life of me, I could not get the mmls, mmstat, or mmcat to install or work. They seem to be obsolete and not supported in packages. When it comes to fsstat, it is file system status, hence the name, and it gives a bunch of outputs. This can be viewed in the video provided. ffind locates files in the file system given the structure. It essentially looks at the labels in the file's metadata in the inode or Windows table to track down a file given a name. FLS's file system list, as the name suggests. This will show you everything in the file system's table at the point given. Default is 0, which is root directory. This is also shown in the video. For file system analysis tools, they are used in conjunction with the file system tools to get things like node positions and whatnot. They start with I for inode, but they can be utilized for Windows-based file systems as well. icat is like using cat command in the terminal, but you need to use the reference number found in FLS. ifind will look for a file name in the index table, but requires you to have an idea of a file you were looking for. ILS is a lot like FLS, but it outputs with a different format. I will be inserting a screenshot around here in the video. iStat gives details as the slide points out, and this will also be in the video. There are other tools with bulk for block level things and image for image levels. The image are shown somewhat in the video demo. Enjoy.
File system type, volume boot, backup boot, root directory 2. So it's like file system info, metadata info, and content info?
It's actually the name. File system status.
Okay.
So this goes through and it points out the serial number, which is a unique key from the hard drive it was imaged from. That is vendor specific. It does not list vendor.
Where is the serial number?
Volume serial number.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the first thing.
The file system structure, and this is the volume name. So he literally, on the disk he imaged, had a partition called exFAT.
Okay.
This is the.
I'm learning about partitions and stuff in Linux system administration now.
Cool. This is the revision of the file system protocol. If you used FAT16, you may see like 2.3.
Mm-hmm.
This is the started the partition, so there's 64-bit of metadata associated with the partition. So the partition starts on bit 64.
So metadata, would that be like when the file was created and file
File
owner?
system. So for on a hard drive, the file system is the type of file system is stored in metadata. And below that it will have the index table, and after the index table you have the disk locations where where the index is pointing to.
Okay.
Due to the partition size, there is a maximum sector of 255,165 count, which means I believe it was initially a 16 gig partition.
And is each of these a partition, the 6 that we have?
Oh, and by the way, there are 2 files in it.
Okay.
And we have a sector size and a... Ooh, this is bad for small files. So, if we looked at the other ones, you would see largely the same information, including the serial number, the type, the revision, the offset. Uh, doo, doo, doo.
So the 255,167, that's how you got the 16 gigabits?
16, yep. So, these are all the same, they're just carved up into 6 different elements.
Okay. And
That's with the
they
FS
all have,
stat.
so that's, and they all have 2 files in each. So are they all copies of each other? Is that what you're saying?
It is...
Or is one saved at one point and then they made slight adjustments to the file and then the second one was saved and then they added things to the file and then the third was saved, kind of like backups?
We're gonna get into that soon.
Okay.
So, FLLS will show you what's on each of the file systems. D is a directory. V is volume information. And R is a record. So...
Sorry, what did you say D was?
Directory, like you could CD into the folder.
And R was what? Sorry, I'm taking notes.
A record.
Thank you.
It's an actual file. So as you see on 2, there's a file 1. On 3, there's 2 files. On 4, there are 4 files. On 5, there's a trash folder.
Ooh.
And 6 is basically the same.
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Orphan files.
Yes, those are files that were removed from the table.
So it looks like in number 2 he has like file 1, and then in number 3 he has file 1 and file 2,
Yep.
and then file 3 is added. So it looks like they're making changes to it. And then the trash appears in the next one, in 5, and then we have just 2, 3, 4, and maybe 1 is in the trash.
Yep.
Do we need to do f find?
Let's see. Missing image name and or address. Let's see.
Yeah, I got the same error.
Image type. Device. Image website. Folder. Oh wait. So dash FEX fat. No. I can tell you this. It's not an inode.
What's inode?
That's how Linux and Mac stacks things. It's not used in FAT or NTFS.
Okay. BLKSLS.
Man, I spelled that wrong. Extracts details about data units. Okay. Block.
Oh shit. I think it's showing me a bunch of stuff, but I don't want that. I'm hitting Q and it's not letting me get out.
Do Control C.
Oh yeah, that ended it. Is it because it's ZSH? Because in Bash Q usually works.
It depends on what opened it.
What did you type to get this result?
This was image cat. This is
BLKLS caused like a bunch of problems. Image cat is doing the same thing. It just keeps going with a bunch of question marks.
yeah, but that should just end the data.
And the data, what do you mean?
So it will, when it stops, it will be done presenting.
So should I just let it run?
Yeah. So I ran it.
ImageCat or BlackStat?
This was ImageCat.
Okay, I'm gonna do ImageCat.
I ended up with Japanese characters at the end.
So you think this guy that's hiding digital forensic stuff from us is Japanese?
Mm.
How do you know it's Japanese?
I
It looks like
recognize these three lines at the bottom as a mix between hiragana and katakana.
there's some other.
Hari ha fu ra.
I think my system isn't able to
No.
analyze it because instead of what you have, I just have a bunch of
Question
question
marks.
marks. Yeah,
Okay.
which is weird. Why do I have a different output than you?
Ooh, kanji.
It looks like there's also Arabic writing or something similar to Arabic.
This is indeed Arabic. I do not read Arabic. But hey, more Japanese. Hey, look, here's the Arabic and Japanese.
But why does mine only show question marks?
Probably do not have the UTF UTF-8 no UTF-10 character set loaded in your terminal.
Okay, how do I do that?
I do not know.
Okay. Let's go to UTF. Can you set?
I was able to use these file system analyst tools to actually read these files, and I'm trying to remember how. So, that was.
When I type in UTF-10 Kali Linux install, it just says how to install Kali Linux on Windows 10.
Well, it would be used UTF-10 in terminal. It keeps referring to UTF-8 even though I wrote UTF-10. Maybe UTF-8 would be good enough for this.
Detect negative value codes. It just says to install locales, but then when I try to install it, it says I have the newest version.
Huh.
Probably something in the profile where it only has English or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess would I need to have this info right now?
No.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm digging through what I submitted um, to see
Okay,
to
so
show you to demonstrate something. Um, that isn't just, hey, here are the answers.
no, I don't want the answers. I want to learn how to do this because I'm gonna have to do this for the exam also, and also I'm here to like learn it, not just for the exam, but in general, in case if I need it for jobs. So the BLK stuff, do we need that in this case?
No.
And he also states that these things are in different states, so I guess I was right
Yep.
about it. Your task is to examine and submit your analysis of each state of the file system.
So, to view the contents, use iCal, the image number, and that number here. So for
396.
yeah, so for file 1, I apparently do not have iCat, not iCal.
What is 396?
That is the block number. This contains
So that's the file one text.
yes. This contains 1,001s, and it takes up sectors 569. Wait, it's probably a different output.
Yeah, I have a bunch of ones also.
Yeah, that's 1,001s.
And that's the file?
Yep, that's the contents of the file. Takes up 5 sectors. And this is the offset from um, the beginning of the partition table.
Mhm.
And let's see, where is it calculated from? I don't. I'm trying to remember the sector information. Let's see. Let me do some math here.
Should I do 396 and 399 on the partition tree?
Yeah, you can go for it.
Hmm.
So
Uh-huh. That's 2. Oh, yeah, I see
there
on
are
your screen also.
2,002s there. And if you do
402. Okay, so that's 3,000 freeze.
Yep. I copied and pasted them into a text editor to
And
do
that's how
that.
you know the amount.
Yep.
And now DD5. Okay, DD5 is different because instead of 396, it has star 396.
Yep.
What does that mean? Is it like being removed or something?
How'd you guess?
Because sometimes when you remove all in the terminal, you push a star button.
Yep. So if you do FLS for EXFAT 5405.
Oh, so you can FLS an individual.
Yep. Directory.
Okay, so it has info and files. Oh, okay, you're going further.
Yep. And when you go to that, it's the same file. That's just a symbolic link. It means file 1 was not overwritten.
Okay, so now you're doing ICAD.
That reads the output. I'm doing istat.
Ooh, is it kind of like the cat command where you can read the file, but it's called ICAD?
Yep. And with istat, that's how you get the sector information and
Ooh, also created.
created and the size in ASCII characters.
That's cool.
Yep. See, told you I'll be remembering things.
Hmm.
By the way, I took this during the COVID everybody home semester, second semester, so about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, and he had office hours at that time, right?
Yes, I spent a fair bit of time explaining this to other students during that time.
Yep.
that
I will,
that that's that's actually what I did in every single course I did.
yeah, because the and it sucks because now you're gone and
And
you don't
it
have anyone
and
to
it
explain it.
and it wasn't even I wasn't this wasn't even exclusive to Aaron's courses.
Hmm.
It was literally, I took a course and I just explained it to everyone.
You should just open your own cybersecurity school and charge people less money for tuition, and they can learn this stuff.
Well, I'd probably end up charging more for tuition, but you'd get better instructors and better equipment.
My tuition is 20 grand a semester.
Good fuck.
So I don't think you would be charging more for tuition.
Hey,
I don't see how it's possible.
I might be able to justify even the same tuition, but a better service because
Yeah, I think the only reason why this tuition is so high is because it's out of state for me, and then they give you like a piece of paper at the end, and some companies pay you more if you have a specific piece of paper.
and again, I still think you're in a messed up situation where uh didn't you say according to the US government this is your only state of residence?
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, because I just got my U.S. citizenship here too, so I think that's dumb.
As a Coloradan in San Francisco. Sent me an email about that.
Who sent you an email about it?
You did.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then I told Dr. Hansen in intro that you were out doing that, and he was like, okay, and gave you a homework extension.
gave me a homework extension.
Yeah, because you missed stuff.
Oh, no, last semester I didn't miss any homework.
No, like, you. What was it? You didn't miss it, but he extended the window you could submit it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I submitted it on time though, but I didn't even realize he extended something. That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So, do you understand how to do the exFAT stuff?
That's super easy now that you explained it. And also knowing like what RD and V means, that's super helpful. So basically, this person made a file like one and put 1,000 ones in it, and then they added another one with twos and then threes, and they deleted one, which is what the star means. And then you can find it in the trash, and then the
Yep.
next one doesn't contain that. Okay, so that's basically, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
And if you look on 6, they did a file 4, and if
Yep,
you iCat.
4,000 fours.
Yep. Nope. It's 1001s. They renamed it.
Oh, wait, file 4 on 6.
Yeah, they renamed 1.
Um,
Can you tell? Wait.
yeah, but
Hold
they
up,
have,
hold up, hold up, hold up.
mine shows 4,000 fours.
I hit the wrong number. Yeah, file 4, 4004s. Yep. And as you notice, it allocates it based on 512 bytes. and you have a minimum size, so you get slag space.
Oh, nice. So that means that if you add to a file,
It takes up less space. It takes up the same space on the file system in extended fat,
mhm,
and it um, it's called slag space. So if I took this file one and I wanted to hide information in it,
mhm.
I could technically write data here and nobody would notice, and you wouldn't be able to read it in Notepad due to how the text file is terminated in that view window.
That's crazy.
However, iStat will still find it. I do not think there's an example of this.
Nope, that might be too complicated.
Yeah, but that's how it works.
Sorry, I'm going back to iStat to see what it looks like. So would iStat be able to tell you based on the size? Because then the size would be bigger than the size of the file itself.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
And, you can iterate through trash in this one, and it just shows file 1 again. And you can iCAD it.
And that's on 6, right?
Yep. That is a deleted file, but because the hard drive didn't overwrite it, which is
It's
what.
still there.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm trying to type. So you and free 4 first?
Well, that is the
But the file one is
directory
located.
for files. If I went into.
Yeah, the other one is just trash info, right?
Yep.
And now we do iCAD on that 3587.
You can.
Okay, cool. Interesting. Man, I would have loved this shit as a kid because I loved sitting at my computer just like messing about. But like tools like this, I would have loved to learn about when I was like 9.
So, when I was a kid, um, FAT16 was the newest Windows file system.
Yeah, I didn't even know anything about file systems and stuff. I wish they had taught that in school because I feel like they had taught a lot of classes like that are not making me more employable.
So, when I was in primary school, um, our block storage was floppy drives. And the file system was esoteric to the IBM system model we were using.
We didn't have a computer lab, and they taught us like 7 years of French and 5 years of Latin. So,
Are you better at Latin than I am?
yeah, it's not useful though.
Uh, I've found it really useful reading historic documents.
Mhm. I think it would be useful if I make my own operating system called Latin and all the commands are in Latin, in which case it would be useful.
I, hey, if it's POSIX compliant, I could use it no problem.